What up, Kyle and Ryan of the band? I'm unsure how to say the name, so I'm just going to go 156 Silence, and you can clarify.
Good job.
Okay.
You did it.
Cool.
You did it.
Good.
We're in.
I was going to say you could clarify. I didn't know if it was 156/silence or whatever, but
some people say the slash.
Someone said the slash recently, and it caught me off guard.
Well, it is we're in the age of the internet, so
yeah.
There's artists that do have like different,
you say the symbol.
Yeah, the symbols in their music.
What's the phonetic pronunciation for the slash?
I think just say slash.
Slash.
One of the ones I still do to this day is Dead Mouth 5.
Dead Mouth. I love that.
Or someone said backslash once. 156/silence.
That's a mouthful. That's so much. Why would you do that?
Well, Kyle, Ryan, why don't you introduce yourself to the show here on the Vanflip and let the audience know who you are and what you do in the band.
I'm Kyle. I play drums. Yeah.
You're the bassist now.
I was the bassist. I was the bassist for a minute, and now I'm the drummer. So,
I'm
moving up.
I'm Ryan, and I'm the guitarist.
Ryan and
He's always been the guitarist.
Hasn't changed that hat. Not to mention.
Well, before you were in the band, I was the punching bag.
Oh,
nice.
Nice.
Now I'm the punching bag.
Well, the new guy, the shit rolls downhill, so that makes
sense.
Right. Yeah. But Ryan and I connected on Twitter, and so that's cool because Twitter is just like a cool tool to like actually connect with people. You know what's weird? Like a lot of people ask me in general, like how I, obtain my guest for the show. Large or small, and I'm like, I fucking DM them. I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
for the most part, or I just like shoot an email off. It's not hard at all. But
just hit them up.
Yeah. So yeah, that was cool. So explain again. Well, let's get back to the name. Can we explain the name for those who like aren't aware, like myself?
Like what it means?
Yeah, like how did it come to fruition when you guys started in like what 2015 or?
Yeah.
We're actually gonna go into the meaning a little bit on our next release.
We're working up to that. It kind of ties into a lot of things. So I guess I don't know if we can talk about that.
No problem. No problem. No teasers. No spoilers. No spoilers for the album, of course. Yeah. So with that being said, do you guys like write music with that in mind? Like, did you guys have an idea of, okay, well, we'll explain kind of our identity throughout the releases? Or is that just something that because you guys get that question a lot, you're like, let's just make it a fun thing and make a record about it?
It's something that comes up. I mean, I've been in the band since Undercover Scumbag, and it's something that has come up time and time again. And for a while, we kind of just like made a game out of it. We'd like tell the person a different story every time, and it was kind of fun. So then we're like, okay, well, people actually want to know what it means, so maybe we should, run with that.
So is it? I'm getting a feeling like you're gonna make up a meaning for the next album, or did you guys have a meaning, or whoever created the name, did they have the meaning?
It's fine. So basically, when the band was started and the original vocalist came up with the name, right? The thing is that no one knows what it means. They're really so we kind of want to create a meaning because it's like we get asked that question and we don't know how to answer it, and it would be nice to be able to answer that. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, hell, if we don't know a meaning, why not create one? So we're working on something right now and trying to piece something together to like bring that to fruition, to make it, not just some bullshit story we tell someone at the merch table,
I wonder how many different stories you guys have done over the years.
Oh man, there's handfuls.
I get creative with it.
It's fun. It honestly can be a fun game because then once you do it, you run back and you tell the band like what you said, and it's.
Or they'll like tell their friends like right there, and then you're just like laughing because you're like, that's totally not true, and they're like they're passing on that story.
I think one of them was when someone said when you jump out of a plane, when you start falling at 156 miles per hour, like your hearing cuts out, and so that's the silence. That was that. I know that's one of them.
I told that one to Nick, and he totally believed it.
That's interesting. It's kind of like
it up.
It's kind of like Super Troopers, you know, but like for the band, Super Troopers for the band. Like
he went and looked it up, and then found out it wasn't true.
Yeah, no, because you can travel 156 miles an hour in a car, and you can definitely like still hear.
You can still hear, yeah. Who drives that fast?
No, I was gonna say it's not at all safe, but I'm sure we have friends that have done it and been stupid about, you know, whatever. But so you guys had a busy year last year, even not necessarily busy, but you know, for the most part, you guys released your second album, correct?
Or technically our first debut album.
Well, no, because
I mean,
I do, but like when I was in the band when Undercover Scumbag came out, but like when they dropped it, they were calling it a full length, and I was like, man, that's like 7 songs, dude. That's like
more like
really
an
a
EP.
full length. So like that's like the first album, but Irrational Pull was like I feel like was the first like full length, more than 30 minutes. You know,
start to finish experience.
Yeah, the first Big John. So like, I guess it's technically our sophomore album, if you want to get technical.
Did sidebar question about Scumbag? Who did the artwork for?
Bonnie from C Space Cowboy.
That's what I thought. Okay, I just want to clarify. She was on the podcast.
Yeah,
we had her on the podcast like a year ago, well before COVID. So.
Word.
Yeah, that was a good one. And I just kind of noticed. Because since then I followed her more often because, you know.
I'm eager to hear what their newer stuff is going to sound like.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've like posted like just little like I guess snippets you could call them on like their Instagram story and stuff of them recording, and I'm just like, whoa, let's go. I'm ready to hear it.
Yeah, I dig their sound. They're kind of like a nod to early 2000s metalcore, like noisecore, spazcore kind of music, and I dig that. And what's interesting is your guys' album that came out last year. It not that it sounds the same as C Space Cowboy or anything like that, but it also has like nods back to that time period. I feel like, and then now sitting here. You know, Ryan's got the botch hat on, so like obviously he's like a metalcore guy. So anything with kind of like
or old, however you look at it.
I'm with you. I mean, I grew up listening to botch too, so I understand. But you have a new band T-shirt on, Orthodox, and we also had them on the podcast. But
I love Orthodox.
That's a cool band too, and they're you know, in that new metal, not new metal, but new hard new metalcore vibe, and I really dig them too. But going back to your album, it was actually fucking awesome. You know what I mean? And like it was very different to me from Undercover, and I really dug. You know, the production on the album is fucking awesome, but also like the music is awesome. And I'm a sucker for anything with like panic chords or shit notes or squiggly wigglies or whatever you want to fucking call them. So like,
yeah,
if you can like pull that off, and you know. I actually added it to one of my. I haven't come out with this article yet, but on my personal blog, I got like, you know, albums that I've listened to multiple times in 2020 instead of like a best of or top 10. It's like these are the albums I can listen to more than just like a 1 through, you know. And your guys' record was definitely on there, and
thanks, man.
Yeah, so it was fucking.
It means a lot.
I'm
glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah. You guys,
replay value is always nice when you can go back to an album and just listen to it over and over and over again.
For sure. And there's a group of you guys band wise that seem to be in the last couple of years pulling metalcore out of like a slump, and it's really cool to see. And you know, I know like Ryan, if you're old, you kind of, you know, probably can speak to the lull that kind of metalcore had about, you know, 5 to 10 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just in the last, just the last 5 years, there's been all these bands coming out of the woodwork, or that, you know, have been there for a while, that, you know, are starting to get attention, getting put out into the limelight, and doing all these tours that are bringing back all of these these old sounds with like a newer package almost. I'm glad that we can keep Panic chords interesting.
Yeah, I'm a big sucker for those, man. I don't know why, but yeah, no, it's cool. It's like all the younger kids coming up that are creating music now, kind of like maybe their parents, were listening to that kind of early 2000s, late 90s scene music, so to speak, like metal and hardcore and stuff. So it's cool to see how they interpret it and how they create.
Oh yeah,
and you guys, like, obviously that's like you guys as well. So
the generational handing of the torch.
Oh boy.
So what was the big transition between Undercover Scumbag and the latest release?
Oh, definitely the lineup changed.
Yeah. had some changes.
Yeah. For a while, there was like a revolving door of band members, and then Irrational Pull, we had been with the same lineup for a while, and everything just kind of clicked when we went to the studio. Like we were all like, I was sweating so much, but like we knocked out drums and bass. Like
we recorded that whole album in 5 days. Irrational Pull, and when I tell people that, they're like, "What?" Like drums were tracked like for the whole album in like I think it was like 5 or 6 hours. Like I did all my bass tracks in like it was like 2 or 3 hours.
So
all
you didn't play
guitars
drums on the album?
No, I didn't play drums on Irrational Pull. I just recently moved to drums in like November. So
finish what you were saying. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no.
That's killing it on drums though.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Bass was fun. Like I did bass on Irrational Pull, and I mean there were definitely I had a lot
blisters in a whole new way now.
Yeah, blisters and new parts on my hands because I mean I'm a drummer, so when I started playing with the band and whatnot, they offered me the position to play bass. I was like, sure, I'll play whatever, just let's go. And so it was like learning, I kind of knew how to play bass, but learning how to play it and then like getting like that finger endurance, and I just had so many blisters on my fingers
for the Irrational Pull part.
Oh yeah, the slide, my fingers would just bleed, literally. Like my index finger and my middle finger were just always raw from like practicing that song over and over.
You'd be like, guys, my hands are bleeding. And I'd be like, Kyle, tell him to stop.
Stop, please.
Yeah. So you guys signed to Sharptone as well. Was that shortly after you released the original Irrational Pull? Because you did release a deluxe with Sharptone that had a couple extra songs on it. But I was curious, like, so how long before did you release the original release?
It was really interesting how that whole thing happened.
Well, elaborate.
So we released Irrational Pull originally on June 5th.
Yeah, June 5th.
And then, Sharptone had gotten a hold of us before we released it. And they were asking us if we were interested in joining their new...
It was an imprint, Blood Blast.
Yeah.
It's like an imprint or something like that. And they asked if we wanted to do that. And we had talked about it and stuff. And we were just like, we're like a month out from releasing.
They if we wanted to do that, we would have had to have pushed back the album even more. And we had been sitting on it for like a year and a half at that point already. So
it was written for a while.
We just wanted to get it out there. So we said no to Blood Blast, and then we put it out. And then maybe like a month.
Yeah, it was like a month tops. Sean came back with Sharptone, and we're like, yes.
Sharptone emailed us and was like, "Do you guys want to come work with Sharptone?" And we were just like, "Yeah."
Like, yeah, let's go. Hi.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Interesting. Yeah. You don't want to do the small imprint, then you put it out, and they're like, "Oh, well, why don't you just come on over anyway?"
Well, hold on 1 second now.
Yeah.
So
you said no, but I'm gonna make you say yes to this now.
Well, that's great. Well, congratulations on that. And obviously, I'm sure, the reception of that record obviously helped, nudge them along a little bit as well.
Oh yeah, last year was like the year of Irrational Pull because like we were promoting it on our own the first like 6 months.
Oh yeah,
and then the whole rest of the year, like Sharptone, like after they picked us up, they were promoting the re-release. So it was really cool. Like a lot of people who may not have heard of us beforehand got to listen to us. Like it's kind of shitty. Like I feel like less people would have listened to the album if the pandemic hadn't happened.
Well, you can. There's.
It makes sense though, because like everybody's at home. You know what I mean? I know a lot of bands didn't. They pushed back their album releases and stuff because they couldn't tour. And that makes sense, and I understand that. But for us, it was like, well, man, we didn't want to push it back. We had kind of talked about it for a second, but we were like, no, we don't. We're not pushing it back. And I'm glad we didn't. Honestly, it worked out. Everyone was at home. Everybody's watching, listening to things because there's nothing else to do.
Right.
So it kind of worked out in that aspect.
Well, and it's okay. It's okay to have some positive things happen to you in 2020.
I mean, you gotta have something, man. You gotta have some silver lining.
You're allowed a silver lining. Just because the whole year sucked for like, I don't know, majority of the people doesn't necessarily mean like you can't have a good year.
I mean, my year also sucked.
Yeah.
Like...
the year sucked for sure. 100%. Like, I mean, the signing and stuff, that was absolutely amazing. But we had some sick tours lined up that like I would have loved to see. We had like a full US lined up for the summer. We had a tour with Catabasis that was like in April that we were supposed to do. That was gonna be so good. I was so pumped to do all these tours, and then just like, hey, guess what? You're gonna sit home for a long time.
Yeah. And we still are.
The last show we played was what, March of last year?
The last show we played though was sick. It was funny. You were talking about Orthodox. Like our last show was that Orthodox, Dealer, I Am, and Boundaries show.
It wasn't Boundaries, it was Varials.
Or
were you on that tour?
Huh?
Were you on that tour?
No, we just played the Pittsburgh. So there wasn't even because it was a Spite tour. Spite was headline.
Right.
And they didn't have a Pittsburgh date. It was like an off date that all the bands except Spite played on, and we opened it.
Interesting.
So
okay, yeah.
Because that was the last show we played before everything went to shit.
Sick.
It was so sick. It was such a good show.
Oh, I bet. I mean, we went to that show here, not that show, but the Spite tour show here, and that's where we linked up with Orthodox, and we had Burials on as well. So we had both those bands on that day. And I was like, well, damn, you may have played because we obviously missed the opening bands doing the podcast. So, but you weren't there, so it doesn't matter.
Well, that was by far one of our best hometown shows. Like, and it was surprising because usually, the openers, don't get that great of a crowd. But it was packed.
Packed. It's crazy.
When we opened, it was our first time playing Irrational Pull at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we hadn't played anything at home. We did like this little run in January of 2020, like just a few days, and we were like focused on playing mostly songs from Irrational Pull, and we were playing like songs that we had never played live before. And it was super cool to see people like had never heard these songs before. They'd obviously heard our band, but they never heard the songs before, and they fucked with it so hard. They're like, oh, this is a little different. Like we started playing Irrational Pull, and they were like, ooh, this bass line, what is that? It was so cool to see like to do something a little bit different because like Undercover Scumbags, like heavy. It's just heavy all the time, and to like do something that's a little more dynamic and different, and have people still like just be down with it. Mm-hmm. Like that was honestly kind of a relief.
Having people message us after that Pittsburgh show, they were like, what was the name of the song you guys opened with? And I was just like, just wait like a few weeks because that's when we were going to put out the music video.
Nice.
But that was a good feeling.
So you guys had that written, Irrational Pull written for a year and a half. You obviously were touring on those or playing those songs live, right? Mm-hmm. For the year prior to, being
first song. Well, the first song we started playing was High Dive.
Yeah, they had like we started playing High Dive for a while, but it wasn't until like playing Irrational Pull, and we played like Lost Visual, which is like the middle song on the album, and like there was one other one. I think we were playing like Conflict and stuff. Like when we did the Black Tongue tour, we were playing like High Dive and Conflict, and Were we playing Irrational Pull on that tour?
Which one?
The Black Tongue tour.
I think we may have played it once for Black Tongue because they really liked they called them the Dark Souls chord.
The Dark Souls chords. But yeah, I couldn't. But no, we were playing a couple for a minute, but then we started playing like some of the more dynamic songs, not just like the heavy ones. And yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, because I was wondering. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was wondering.
Nothing I'm gonna say is important.
Because I was wondering, you've had that material for so long, and then the album comes out during lockdown, and then now here we are 6 months after you already, or not even 8 months after you've already released your original record, and then I was thinking you're gonna probably be bummed having to play those songs even for a longer period of time afterwards, because I'm sure you may have probably gotten together as a band in the last year, and you may have like written some music and stuff.
Sorry, my cat. Yeah, we've actually been busy boys. Yeah. Very busy. Oh yeah.
Super, super busy. Like so busy that you just write so much music that you just don't know what to do with it. Busy.
So no music has been written.
Right. Absolutely none.
Nothing. There's nothing written.
Interesting. All right. Well, I mean,
we haven't spent the last year right.
No, I'm of the mind that if you we've been in the pandemic for almost a year now.
Yeah, it's
if you're in a band and you haven't been writing or doing anything, like you're stupid.
Yeah. Honestly, he is right, because it's like you have all this time where you're just sitting at home, and it's like, why just sit there and play video games and be bummed when you could hone your craft and like work on yourself as a musician and work on your band. Like this is a pretty ample time, like to sit and write. And I mean, that's what we did. We just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote.
I mean, it sucks not being able to be out there on the road, because last year would have been our biggest year of touring.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. But like, when are we ever going to have this much time to like prepare and get ready? And, there's so much other things that go into touring, so just getting all of your ducks in a row so that whenever the green light goes, you can just go.
Exactly. By the time like we're able to tour again, I want to have everything locked and loaded, ready to go. I mean, obviously we would still like to tour on Irrational Pull and do stuff with that, but like, once we knock like a tour out with that, I'd like to, let's go, move on to the next one.
Yeah. That's a good, I mean, I don't know if it's a good idea, but obviously you can always just play less Scumbag material and splice in more Irrational Pull as you release new material, so.
Jim doesn't even want to play Undercover Scumbag.
Yeah, we like, Jim doesn't even want to play like that song, and everybody loves that song. Like I think honestly, as a band, I mean, at least speaking for myself, I kind of agree. I just want to play new stuff. I got to cover Scumbag is cool, and it would be nice to bust out like a song or two from there now and again. But like, I want to play new stuff. Like, I want people to hear like the new music. I feel like, especially now that we're kind of like moving in a bit of a different direction than what like Undercover Scumbag is. It's like I don't know. I just want to say this is who we are now.
Right.
I was not who we were in 2018.
I was gonna ask, like, do you guys think that other than the member changes and everything like that, was the writing process different and the mindset of like what you guys wanted to sound like different when you were recording, Irrational Pull compared to like Undercover? Because, and again, I'm not trying to lessen the previous recording, but like, Irrational Pull is just that much better. You know what I mean? And it feels like you did kind of hone your sound and stuff. And so it'll be interesting to see what you guys have done, in this past year and what your release will be coming out. And, it'll be interesting to see where you go. But like, what was the change? Like, was it a thought out thing, or was it just because of the new members and the new sounds?
I mean,
I was in the band when we recorded Undercover Scumbag, and I can tell you just the writing process as a whole in comparison from Undercover Scumbag to Irrational Pull was so different. Because I came in for that album, and it was my first like actual studio experience. So like I always have great memories about it. But we were still writing, like going into the studio for Undercover Scumbag. There were things that we decided to change last minute, and there's a bunch of stress that comes with doing things like that. But with Irrational Pull, like we really just sat down and dug into everything and dissected everything and took our time.
So like as a band, we practice religiously every Sunday. Sunday is band day. And for Irrational Pull, when I joined the band, it was written. The album was already done. But so I had to learn the whole album and then play it together as a band. And some songs changed. Some, there were some parts added, some things changed a little bit. But I mean, once we had learned the songs and had them practiced and we were confident with them, then we actually sat down and demoed everything out and really sat down and like I even went as far as to like mix it and like just make it sound like as close to what I can envision the record to be, like, and then went into the studio with that, like pretty much like a fully completed record. Went into the studio with that and then re-recorded the whole thing again. Just because, and I mean that worked out so well.
You have to do that though, because we have all of our pedals, and like you don't know what kind of noises. If you don't know what kind of noises you want to make going into the studio, like it's gonna be a whole lot harder to try and figure it out while you're there, especially if you're recording the album in 5 days.
Yeah, you don't really have any time to waste there.
Yeah, you're paying by the day, by the hour, so it costs more to fuck around, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the release like plan? Do you guys have a plan, or do you have a plan to like? I dare ask, is it recorded yet, or do you have
not recorded yet?
But so we have two releases written.
The next two releases are written.
Yep, our next two releases are written. So we're in the process of like ironing out like fine details and whatnot, and then we'll move into our normal thing, demoing, and go from there. But for right now, it's just working on the songs, playing them. Like we get together on Sundays. We're all very safe, of course. All right, I guess as safe as you could be practicing in a room together. But like, we just work for hours. 6-7 hours, just playing them over and over and over and over again until just get those fine details ironed out. Because I mean, when you go into the studio, you want it to be like perfect. You want to have every fine detail just like planned out, so that way if something changes or whatnot, or you just have more time to like add extra stuff, you can do that as opposed to like trying to fix a song in the studio, because then you're just panicking and you're like, what do I do?
Right. So
drums.
Just to clarify, you said your next two releases, and I'm guessing you mean 2 albums and not 2 songs.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Just to clarify.
Yeah, not singles. They're big boys.
Nice.
Well,
so how do you plan on releasing that? Like, do you plan on like staggering it out, or do you plan?
Yeah. We plan on staggering it out. We're like, it ties into what we said with the name, though. We want to. I don't know. We really want to make a nice, just something super sick that people are like, wow, that's like a next level thing,
It's cinematic.
Cinematic, yeah.
Is it mesmerizing?
Buzzwords.
Is it kind
There's
of
some
like
buzzwords that go around the band?
Is it kind of like a concept album to where like there's a storyline, or is it just like a?
Yes.
Okay. Are they both like that?
Yes.
Interesting. We're getting down to the nitty gritty now, guys.
Oh, we're gonna get real weird on these next.
Oh,
weeks.
I'm stoked. I'm like kind of nervous because it's like, we've just never done anything like this before, but it's super, super cool. And every practice we get together, we, devote time to talk about it and, brainstorm. And like, at first when we started talking about things, I was just kind of nervous and skeptical. And I was, I don't know. But like the last 2 practices we had where we talked about it, I was like, ooh, this is getting really good. I'm excited. Like
spicy.
It's spicy. Yeah.
Interesting. So it sounds like you guys are pretty much, you guys run, you run the organization, so to speak, the band, like kind of like a job. You know what I mean? Like you guys are dedicated to it. You guys set time apart to schedule for like discussions and shit. And like, I can remember when I was in a band, it was nothing like that. I mean, I'm sure there was, but it definitely wasn't structured like you guys are describing it, which maybe makes sense as
This
to why
band,
I didn't, I didn't
like,
get to your point and your point now.
yeah, I've been like I was in a band before this, and like just comparing the two as far as like practices and just how like the band's structured. This band is like beast. Oh man, it is crazy. It's so crazy organized. Like just all the fine details and like just constant communication and
everything's planned out.
Everything is very, very planned out. And I mean, even the fact it's like, okay, yeah, we're practicing, we're gonna meet up at this time, and we'll probably stop around this time. It's like, the time within that is it's like, okay, this time's organized for this, then we're going to take a break and we'll do lunch and like
we're paying our bills on this day.
Yeah. And like, oh, we're doing business boys at this time, and we'll have our little business boys meeting and then back to practicing and stuff. So it's just like, we're very, very organized. Cause I mean, you kind of have to be, because if you're not, things start to fall apart. It can,
hard to keep track of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And especially when you start doing more and more things as you grow as a band, you know what I mean? It's like if you don't have all hands on deck, it's gonna fall apart.
Right. So do you guys, is it fair to ask, like, do you guys, since you had all these member changes and you're coming in and out of people, do you guys are you guys like friends as a band, or is it more like this is I don't want to say job, but like this is a project that the group of us is working on, and we don't necessarily have to get along or like hang out with each other as long as we're dedicated to the end result?
I mean, we're definitely all friends.
Oh yeah, we're all friends.
Okay.
The one thing that I've always loved and thought was really cool about this band is that it's always had like past members from other like bigger bands within our scene. So like we've always had like the workhorses from all the like different bands. We're like the Pittsburgh super group of Metalcore.
Interesting.
Essentially.
So
like you were in Falsac, I was in Nautilus, Jimmy was in New Vegas.
Jim was in like so many different Pittsburgh bands. He's like, man, he's like the king.
Jim is the king.
Honestly.
Big Peep.
You're talking to the peasants here.
People,
you should be talking
people
to Big
know
Peep.
him. So where does the musical, where does the inspiration, like what do you draw for your sound? Like what do you listen to, but like what do you, what makes you create the sound that you guys have?
I'm sure if you asked like all of us, like we wouldn't all give you different answers, but like there's probably different bands for all of us that come to mind whenever, we're talking about our band.
Mm-hmm.
My go-to is definitely like Boys in the Well, Botch, and Daughters. Like I like dissonant and weird shit. You like different things, but
yeah,
we all make it.
I like Deftones.
Work. Yeah, I
like Deftones
too.
I love Deftones. That's it. I don't know. I listen to like metalcore and shit like that too, but I really like the Deftones. That's all I listen to.
No one's hating.
That groove.
If you look at my Spotify, like most listened to for 2020, they are there. Deftones are there.
My number one for my Spotify most listened to is actually Suicide Boys.
Ugh.
Going through some stuff in 2020, man.
It's not my bag. I mean,
Man,
I can like I like
hip hop though.
hip hop. I like hip hop. Yeah.
You like hip hop? Okay. Tangent time. You said this.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So
Tangent time.
I was not a fan of Suicide Boys. Like prior to this album that they released, I was like, man, that group is lame. If you listen to them, dumb, whatever. Anyways. And then they dropped this album, I Want to Die in New Orleans, which they dubbed as their first actual full-length album. And like, man, front to back, that is a solid hip-hop record. It is really, really good. And I mean, I went into it with an open mind, and I was like, okay, my buddy's like, I really want to show you this. And I was like, man, I do not want to sit here and listen to Suicide Boys forever. Okay. And so then he played the record, and I was just like, whoa, okay. That was pretty sick. Like, I don't know, they take like these old news clips and stuff from like, they're from like Louisiana or New Orleans or something. I don't know. I mean, New Orleans is in Louisiana. I'm an idiot. But they're from that area, and they take like these old news clips and they like tie it all into the album, and so like the whole album, all the songs like flow together with like these news clips and stuff, and then like the last song in the album is actually like an EP, and I don't know, it's crazy, it's cool. I gained a lot of respect for them as like a musical group, and now I'm just like a loser that loves Suicide Boys.
No, it's cool. I mean, like I do give them respect because they do take like they went on that big tour before the pandemic, or in 2019, and they took Trash Talk out, and I think Turnstile or Bane, one of the two, they took
one of
them
those
out.
bands.
Yeah, Turnstile. Yeah, they took Turnstile out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I give them, I respect them, and like again, like I've listened to, like I found them through Puya years ago, so but again, like Suicide Boys, it's just 3-6 Mafia to me. So that's where my
yeah.
yeah.
You don't like 3-6, bro?
No, I do, but like if I'm gonna listen to Suicide Boys, then I'm gonna listen to 3-6 instead. You know what I mean? It's like, why listen to? I don't want to compare the like a band that sounds like the Deftones, and then just listen to the Deftones. You know what I'm saying? Like if I listen to Suicide Boys, it just makes me want to listen to 3-6 Mafia.
New experience.
No, I understand.
It's new sounds, new experience.
I understand.
I understand where you're coming from, and I kind of went with that same mindset with some bands and stuff like that too. But it's like, for me, I'm like, do I want to really sit there and listen to like the same 3 albums over and over again? You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I'm with Ryan.
And for some people that's okay, but I just go crazy. But,
well, I can't say that I am with Ryan because like I did make it a choice. Like I started doing playlists for Lambgoat, and I decided I'm gonna make the monthly the monthly new metal one. And by the way, you can check all those out on Spotify. You just search Lambgoat, or you can hit the links on the show notes here. There's the links.
Little plug there.
Yeah, and all of Buck 56's links, not yours specifically, Ryan, but 156 Silence's links. There you go. But anyway, the fuck was I saying? Spotify playlist. Okay, yeah. So like, I started like doing a weekly new albums playlist too. So like, I would make myself go look at all the new albums that came out and put them in a playlist for the week, which was daunting, obviously. So I did it for like 8 months, and I started doing it again recently. But out of that, I started like to force myself to listen to that playlist too. Granted, there are things that I can know right off rip that I'm not going to enjoy, but because I don't like every genre out there. But that's how I found you guys too. So like your album came out and I dropped it on there, and then I'm just going through all of them that I do or don't like, and then that album, your album came on, and I was like, ooh, I have to put this in my other playlist of check out later.
Oh, you gotta jump through the gauntlet of playlist.
Yeah, we survived the roulette.
Yeah, it's very tough. Yeah, it's very tough. All you have to do is sound like early 2000s metalcore a little bit, and
oh boy,
it's like
can't wait for you to hear the new stuff.
Yeah, I'm interested. You want to give any teasers as to like maybe what it sounds like, other than
early 2000s metalcore?
Nice.
With synth.
With
synth in HD.
Nice. 4K audio.
Oh yeah,
definitely 4K.
So
we're pushing 8K spatial audio, baby.
So what albums did you enjoy yourself last year in 2020? They don't necessarily have to be like scene albums, obviously, because you're like a Suicide Boys fan as well.
I
so
am.
You can say other things.
I'll tell you.
Do I really want this kid's opinion if he likes Suicide Boys this much?
Oh, he does. He does.
I already know.
Honestly,
I already
know
which one. I already know yours, Kyle.
What?
If it's not Ohms, I don't know if you're a real Deftones fan.
Oh, dude. I mean, Ohms was like amazing. Yes, obviously. That's like such a no-brainer. Loathe album. But let me tell you something, because it's still in my rotation, and I don't see it coming out anytime soon. Cost of Sacrifice by Chamber. Wow. Wow. That is a banger front to back. That album is literally just like,
yeah. I dig.
Take out the riffs.
Oh man, you've heard that, right?
Yeah, I definitely dig Chamber because again,
I say if you like Panic Chords and you haven't been jamming that album, like what are you doing?
No, when they got signed to Pure Noise is when I kind of started listening to them. So yeah, I definitely enjoy it. I haven't listened to that album, as much as like you have, but
you should listen to it more. And I mean, there were some good metalcore albums in 2020, man. Like Orthodox dropped an album in 2020.
Yeah,
The album was
Orthodox is
sick.
good.
Yeah, I love Orthodox. Love you, Mike. Shout out Mike White.
I like the Drain
Yeah, that was a good
California
one.
Cursed album.
Mhm.
I like the Higher Power.
Ooh, that was good. Higher
Yeah.
Power. That was a good record.
I
never
liked
really
it.
like.
I liked it, but
listened to
again, it
it
was one of
much.
those albums that I didn't think changed the game. I don't know. A lot of people were writing about it being like, this game-changing album, and not to shit on it at any means, but I was like, yeah, okay, it's a great album. I heard it.
I just like that like turnstile kind of
I was gonna say
rock hardcore
Oh, yeah.
kind of sound.
It is tight. I'm not gonna say it's a bad album. That's not what I'm saying at all.
I also really like that Yashira album. Failed to be. Yeah.
We had them on the podcast recently too. They're from here, so
I saw them once. They played with Rivers of Nile, and they were sick.
yeah, they're cool dudes.
Oh, what else? Oh, that band, Your Spirit Dies, that EP,
Mhm.
The Process of Grief. You ever heard of that band?
No, I have not.
Ooh, that's one you should check
I'll
out.
check that out. Yeah,
They're called Your Spirit Dies.
cool.
Stick band.
So, I want to ask another Deftones question that I ask all Deftones fans.
Let's go.
What's your
Favorite album?
rank them?
Rank them.
Oh fuck!
I need a list.
You better Google it then.
Pull your Spotify, you poser.
What do you think this is, Ryan? You don't think I got this stuff already pulled up? Let's go. You want me to rank them in order? I'm gonna have to write this out.
I disagree with you a lot on this one.
The
Okay,
goal
well,
of this,
well,
the goal of
let's-
this is
let's-
to make you like think on your feet and say some shit like off rip that you don't have to think about. So
Okay. All right. I got this up. So, I mean, do you want me to literally do like a 1 through 10, or you want me to be like, oh, this is my favorite, and then kind of go down?
well, yeah, I want you to rank them in how you like them.
Okay. All right. So my favorite is Diamond Eyes. 100%. We'll die on that hill. It is an amazing album.
Are we talking like your personal favorite or like their best?
Their
album?
best album? Both.
Yeah. I want that.
Both.
I want you to think.
And,
the best
and I
albums
know, I know that there's a distinct difference between like something being my favorite and it being their best, because there are albums where I'm like, this is my favorite album by this band, but this is their best. I firmly believe that Diamond Eyes is their best album. Not to say that anything after that, I guess, is like worse. I mean,
I like Diamond Eyes, but I think Koi no Yokin is their best.
that's a good
front, front to back.
I know. I was looking at
Interesting
discography, and then I moved up. I was like, oh, but Koi no Yokan's really good. But no, Diamond Eyes. That's my favorite. Koi no Yokan would be number 2 for me. Like, absolutely for sure.
Keep going.
After that, I would probably say
White Pony.
I would go Around the Fur,
Okay, interesting.
and then I'm having a tough time with White Pony and Self-Titled. Because I like Self-Titled a lot. I would go White Pony, Self-Titled.
I get self-titled and Saturday Night mixed up.
Saturday
What's on
Night- I would say Saturday Night Wrist after that.
self-titled has Hexagram?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What an opening track, right,
Yeah.
dude? Come on. Like,
And Pins
then,
and Needles. Pins and
where
Needles
am
is
I
like
at?
my favorite track on that album.
So then what do we have?
Gore
We have
and Adrenaline.
Gore, Adrenaline, and Ohms, Gore, Adrenaline. Like I don't
Thank you for
Interesting.
not making Gore last.
No, I see a lot of people
that
didn't
your
like, and see,
favorite,
it's so
Ryan?
hard to put.
I love Gore. I don't know why it gets so much hate. I love that album.
I think you
can't
have to
put it-
listen to the Deftones. I think you have to actually be a fan of it because, like, I didn't like Gore when it came out, and I didn't like Koi. I didn't like Koi when it came out either. And I would say that
What?
Diamond Eyes was also my favorite as well. So like I was a big Diamond Eyes guy, and I grew up listening to like Adrenaline, and then I remember when White Pony came out, and I remember when White Pony became this like, oh my God, the Deftones have arrived, and they've gone on this trajectory. That's the worst album that they've made in this new trajectory, in my opinion. Right?
What album?
White Pony.
White Pony is like my personal favorite Deftones album, and I just like it because like Digital Bath, like I love that fucking song.
No. Yeah,
Fucking
again, we're talking about the Deftones. So no, there's not a bad record. They don't make bad records.
No. And see, that's the thing. I feel like
I know what you mean though, like that, like vibey, like real, like sexy sound that they started. What are you doing?
Dude, come on, that whole sexy, like Hole in the Earth was on Saturday Night Wrist. Fucking Using the Butcher, that's on Diamond Eyes. That song is sex. I'm not literally
that whole Diamond Eyes. That whole album is sex. I mean, Sex Tape is definitely. That's why it's their best album. It is the embodiment of like horny, angry Chino. Just like boom, like. Yeah, you could definitely have intercourse to those albums for sure. And Ohms is also like, I really, really, really like Ohms. It'd be up there in the top 3 for me.
And people shit on that one too. Not as much as Gore, but I did see people say, "Oh, you know, they're whatever they were saying." I'm just like, man, like, I hope that I could be whatever the age they are now and still fucking kick ass and still put out an album that, like me, that is still another album in my rotation where it's like I can listen to that record front to back and I'm just like, damn, like they did it again.
I still think Ohms is the worst song on that record though.
No, it is not, man. It is not. It grew on me. See, the thing is I would have agreed with you when I first heard the singles. And then when you hear it in the context of the album, when you're listening to the album front to back on a full listen through, and then that song comes up last, it clicks. It clicks. And you're just like, okay.
Out of the singles, that was the better single too, in my opinion. I liked Genesis though too. Oh wait, what was the first one? Ohms.
Genesis.
Never mind. I like Genesis better.
No.
Ohms was the first one.
Song.
Ohms was first. Yeah. Genesis was the second single.
Yeah,
I think so.
Ohms had that drony riff, and like I loved it. I loved that. I mean, it was a great prelude to the album, I think. But I also liked knowing that was the end track, and I liked knowing that it was one of the lighter tracks, so to speak, on the album too. But I really dig that like drony guitar riff, you know, the repetitive one.
Genesis though. No, that band is so good at like opening an album. Like, man, just every album, like just the first track.
The first 2 tracks on Ohms, like are probably two of my favorite songs. Genesis and Ceremony.
My favorite on Ohms would have to be probably Headless.
That is a good song.
Headless is my
That's
favorite.
what I mean. Like I thought that would have been a better closer than Ohms.
No.
Maybe it's because you heard Ohms prior to the whole album. My favorite, I like Ceremony. Ceremony was my first favorite after the singles came out and the album did. But The Spell of Mathematics is one of my favorites. And my favorite part on the entire album is in that song. It's like when they the first claps.
Oh,
I don't know why, but that part is like just like the apex of the album, you know, for me. And
no, I feel you.
I love that riff and was it
Radiant City? I was just gonna bring that.
Oh yeah.
That bass riff, dude, and then the drums come in.
I love it when they like go down with it.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like we could spend another hour. Yeah, I feel like we could spend another hour talking about them. But Ryan, I want to talk about another band that's kind of like the Deftones a little bit. You DM'd me about a couple of days ago, and this is how we got the podcast kind of talking. But you DM'd me about the Glassjaw drop that kind of came out, coloring book. It came out like, I don't know, Monday or something, or Tuesday.
Yes.
Did you try to get one?
I was like pressing refresh like a goddamn crackhead. Just
he was sitting at my computer just refreshing. He's like, it says the site's overloaded. There's too many people.
The most fucked up part about that drop was like, they're like, okay, like we finally have a time, like noon. And then like it's like 10 minutes away from noon, and it's like, nope, 1 p.m. So I was like, what is going on? And the internet just started going nuts. The site started crashing. I was like, what the hell is happening? And then I looked on Facebook and saw the link for Revolver, and I was able to get my 2 copies through Revolver.
Oh, wow. So you bought it through, okay. I managed to, I didn't know it was coming out. I only thought they were adding it to streaming, and I must have not fucking checked the internet. And like, again, Glassjaw is like my favorite band, so like I pretty much am, a part of the cult for sure. But I didn't realize it was coming out for some reason. And then like I'm going to lunch at work, and I just happened to look at my phone, and Instagram I pulled up Instagram, and it was this one image. The top image was just the fucking, you know, gift that one of the records that they had of the 120. And then I was like, why the fuck would they post that?
Mm-hmm.
And then I like went to the link, and then the website was down, and it was like 12:04 at this point. And I was like, what the fuck? There's like no way. Why would the website? I was like, why would the website be down? And like it was, you know, because it said like crashing. And so,
Right.
Dude, I spent on my phone. I spent 30 minutes just trying, like, fucking getting through it, and I couldn't get through it. And then I eventually would get like to the checkout, but then like, oh, that one is no longer available, so I had to go back and go back. I eventually got 2 off of the Glassjaw website, so I feel like I achieved something that day. But I even got one like hours later. I guess like carts were starting to kick out orders that weren't all the way through or something. But
some people were like charged more than once for certain ones. I saw that, but no, you're lucky that you got some, man, because there were some people I saw that were like, I didn't know that this was going on. Like, I don't know how you wouldn't see it, but yeah, like there's so many people who are like, oh, I didn't get one, like, and we still don't even know how many there are yet.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I've tried to find out, but
I'm just stoked because I was like, originally I thought that they were only going to do another 120, like they did the first time. So I was like, shit, like I'm probably not going to get one, but I'm gonna try. And then I got 2, and it made my day. It's just like,
well, you know what's dumb? It was dumb luck that I just happened to fucking check my phone that right then and there, and then I got I got it. But also when our Color Green, the EP that came out a while ago, they released like a custom package deal. You would get all 5 of the 7 inches in a package with a custom T-shirt. You would get to pick the color of the T-shirt and the color of the ink and all this, that, and the other. And I was like, cool. And I was on the website at the time, and I bought one, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I bought one. And then it wasn't until I got on Discogs many years later, like 2-3 years ago, I found out that they only made 93 of those. And so like I just happened to be on the website at the time that was live, and I bought one. So have you seen how much they're selling for on eBay, the coloring book?
I saw one go for like $300 already.
Yeah, that's insane.
Which is insane. Like I haven't been collecting for that long. Like I'd get one vinyl from a band I really liked at a merch table every so often, but I actually just started collecting like at the end of last year. So to be able to like it kind of sucks for all the people that had the Glassjaw before coloring book, but now.
Well, I mean, that just makes it more valuable. You know, the original 120 now are more valuable.
Right.
So
yeah, they're not going to lose value.
I mean, I think one sold for $2,000 on eBay.
What?
The original. Yeah. It's fucking insane. That our color, the our color green package that I was telling you about, the last one on Discogs sold for like $500 or some shit. You know, it's fucking crazy. Glassjaw is one of those like stupid cult bands, and they do weird things like that.
Well, the top 5, or I don't know if it was 5, like the top most bought vinyl from last year was all Metallica, because they decided to repress their shit through Walmart. So like it's getting more people interested in collecting physical music media.
Yeah.
So that's cool to me.
I've been on a big kick the last couple of years, and I talk about it a lot on this podcast, but I collect vinyl. But for me, I want like the most rare vinyl. You know, I want to be like that guy, but it's also like more difficult and blah, blah, blah. But I also got really bad at collecting CDs. So I now have like over 200 CDs in my collection in the last like year and a half, and I'm not fucking stopping. I literally just got like a CD player for the house, like a CD stereo, you know, with speakers and shit. Where I'm living the dream.
Yeah, I've been spending too much money on vinyl recently. Like I'll be like, okay, like I bought this one that I really wanted. You know, I'm gonna be done for a while, and then I'll be scrolling, and I'll be like, oh shit, someone's repressing, you know, this album or that album. Like they're doing Devil Wears Prada Zombie EP. Like I'm gonna want to get that.
I've just been selling all my vinyl.
Yeah, you saw that Danza one.
Yeah, I sold Danza 4 Alpha Omega. I had a copy.
How'd you do? Would you sell it on eBay or Discogs?
I sold it on Facebook. I posted in like the Metalcore collectors group. I just had a list.
Okay, cool.
I was like, these are all my records. Got to pay bills, and I sold it for $180.
I mean, it sucks for you, obviously, because you're in that position to have to do that. But you also probably made someone's day, although your day was not made.
I mean,
you got to make someone else's day for sure.
I mean, yeah, but also like I only spent $18 on that record.
Oh yeah,
I sold it for $180. So I was like, all right, cool. Let's pay that car payment, baby.
See, that's where I'm at with this Glassjaw one, because like we don't know how many there are, obviously. So I feel like someone spending $300 on that is kind of insane. But it's also like, what do? I only paid $45 for it. You know, am I dumb for not wanting to sell it, or part of me wants to like?
Gonna even play, dude. Like, come on, that thing looks like a gyroscope. It's like, is that gonna play?
I don't know. I don't even know if I'll play it.
I mean, I would hope not if it's like a super collectible thing, but like even so, like
I might try and use my second copy to like secure a trade that I want or something. Like I don't know. Like there's a lot of I haven't been able to get a single wax vessel yet. So
yeah, you
actually no.
Use it for trade.
I bought the I Declare War Amidst the Bloodshed one.
Nice.
That is dope. So are you a fan of the are you a fan of the band, or you just like that album, or
of Glassjaw or I Declare War?
I'm sorry, Glassjaw.
Oh yeah, I love Glassjaw. I got to see them. I've only seen them once, and it was in California when I was in the Marine Corps.
It was in California.
California.
In my Marine days.
Sick. Well, damn.
What's your favorite Glassjaw album?
Our Color Green. That's just my favorite one right now. That changes all the time.
Yeah, mine's probably Worship and Tribute.
Yeah, of course. And that also is another go-to, but I find myself listening to Our Color Green a lot. And I mean, I definitely listen to Worship and Tribute a lot. I talked about it on the podcast too many times, but I flew to New York and did the 10-year anniversary or the 20-year anniversary or whatever. They did like a double show, one midnight show and like an 8 p.m. show the next night. It was like right after they got out of their Roadrunner contract and they could play all that shit.
Oh, nice.
That was crazy. I've done a lot of stupid stuff for Glassjaw, so they're like that band for me. Yeah. Well, dudes, I guess we're running about an hour, so I guess we can kind of wrap it up. Is there anything else that you guys want to kind of, speak on or shout out? I know you guys talked about the 2 releases you got coming out that may or may not both come out next year, or you may have scheduled, and that they're concept albums. So I'm very interested to, see how that plays itself out and what you guys do, even promotionally for that. I think that would be a cool experience.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
We got something planned.
Seems like
sick.
it seems like you have some tricks up your sleeves and everything.
Oh boy.
Visually think we're gonna go for like the Irrational Pull, like the vibe in the music video for Irrational Pull. We're gonna like take it a step further. That's what we're going for.
Awesome. Well,
real weird imagery.
At least as long as you're not wearing masks.
Oh no.
So anything else you want to get out before you get off? That sounds weird, but
get off before you get
out
off.
before you get off. Man, is there anything I want to say?
Any bands you want to give a little love to other than like Orthodox?
Dude, there's so many bands I'd love to give love to.
I want to make love to so many bands.
So many, dude. Like, shouts out Your Spirit Dies. Shouts out Seder. Shouts out, obviously, Orthodox, the boys.
Promise Breaker.
Promise Breaker. Yeah, Promise Breaker. Ooh. A Guerrilla Warfare.
Guerrilla
Dude.
Warfare. G-Dubs. Let's go.
G-Dubs. I could go on for days, man. There's so many like bands that like we're coming up with and that we've played shows and toured with. It's like there's just so much. You could literally just spend your whole time listening to like this instead of like bands are on like labels and stuff. And there's a lot of good shit out there, like on Bandcamp and stuff. You can really just like dive in there.
Of course, yeah. Well, we appreciate you guys coming on, And I can't wait until you guys go on tour again. I'd love to, see you guys live down here in Florida. So that'd be hopefully soon,
We want to come down and play in Florida hopefully soon.
Yeah, it's a little different
Fingers
weather.
crossed.
It's a little different weather than you have right now, but
Yeah, man, come on, it's cold. Can
We'll
we
get
borrow
there.
like 20 degrees or something, man? Like,
Give me the fat 20.
give me a fat 20.
All right, guys. Well, have a great night, and thanks for coming on, man.
Word.
Thank you.
Peace out, man.